everybody, welcome back to another video here on my channel. And for the second time this year, and also second time in this last 6 months, I'm doing another big unhaul of my books, and mainly this is like around 40 books. So it's another big one, and it's either books that I've already read or they're like coffee table books that I've had for a while. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Stillhouse Lake is the first book I'm going to include into this little unhaul, and I just read this book this year. I enjoyed it. I think I rated it 4 stars or 3 stars. It's basically like a mystery thriller, but it is a book 1 of like a book 8 or more in a series, and I don't honestly feel like continuing the series. And most of the series itself, I do believe, just revolves like this book around this wife and her 2 kids, because the husband was actually a murderer and she ended up finding out about it, and then he goes to try and kill her because she ran away with her kids. So I don't feel I need to pick this whole series up, and I like it. I felt like this book was really good, and I do like the cover, but I'm just not intrigued into it anymore. Everything is the next book I'm unhauling, and I literally just finished this book. I rated it 3 stars as well, and I also just did my monthly wrap up on it, but I'm gonna get rid of it because I don't feel the need to have it on my permanent forever shelf. And also, since we're moving in less than 6 months, I'd rather not lug 200 plus pounds of books 2,000 miles if I can get rid of things that I don't honestly want on my shelf. So also, as always, in all of my videos, I always say sorry about any noise my son makes. He's in his room playing. He's just playing with cars, so his imagination is working and he might be loud and you might hear that. Next, I'm getting rid of A Secret Kept by Tatiana D. Rosne, and I picked this book up at a thrift store because I originally read Sarah's Key and I love that book. It was like a 5-star read last year. So I seen this book, I picked it up. I enjoyed it kind of, but I just don't care much for this book, in all honesty. A Titanic story called Unsinkable. I have so many Titanic books and also so many Egyptian books, and I've gotten rid of a lot of them. And this was because when I was younger, I would get any and all books that pertain to any interest I had, but I wouldn't necessarily read them. So now I'm finally getting rid of majority of them. The Day the Fall Stood Still. I don't know too much about this book except for what was on the back of it, and it's basically set in like the 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s, I do believe. And I wasn't really intrigued enough, and I have no clue where this book even came from. Besides Still Waters, I actually loved this book last year, but all of these tiny mass market paperback books, I guess is what they're called, all of these I'm trying to get rid of. And I did enjoy the story, but I also don't think I will reach for it. It is Christian, and I think it's like a Christian romance, Christian coming to age. I don't know 100%, but it is Christian, and I enjoyed it a lot. I just don't want any of these small books really on any of my shelves. In My Father's House was another great read about the Civil War, and I read this as well last year, but again, small book. The Lawman's Secret Son. I actually enjoyed this, and I swear that this originally, or I've seen these books in the Dollar Tree. I didn't get it from there because I got it from a half-price book bundle deal a long time ago, but I just feel like that's where it originally came from. It was a good read. It is Christian as well, and I really enjoy little Christian books off and on, either for Christian romance. I haven't picked an actual Christian book up, I feel like, in a half a year, maybe more. Next, we have 2 Nicholas Sparks books. First is A Walk to Remember. I already read this one. I'm trying to buy all of my Nicholas Sparks books similar to either the hard copy of the same style with the black text box, or if we're going paperback, sometimes I'll get it with the black text box, but for the most part, this more for his newer stories, the white covers. I like these 2 together, and I used to only want hardbacks from him, but now I've gotten so many hardbacks and so many paperbacks that I'm just to the point where I'm okay with getting a few hardbacks and also a few paperbacks. The second one is The Notebook. I have never read this book or even watched this movie at all. I do plan on reading the book eventually, but I just feel like I could easily find this one in a thrift store or anywhere else in a regular full-size paperback or hardback. In elementary school or middle school, during, I do believe this was a Scholastic book fair, I picked up To Kill a Mockingbird. We did read this in school a long time ago. I think it was 8th grade. I enjoyed the story. Apparently this is one of the banned books in schools nowadays, again with the size. Don't feel like having this, and sometimes they have really beautiful copies, either the older copies or I think new editions of To Kill a Mockingbird, but I also don't really have interest to reread this story, so there's that. Next, I do have not necessarily a duology, but they do go together, and they are Chip and Joanna Gaines. You have the Magnolia story first, and then Capital Gains. I enjoyed these books last year. They're just kind of autobiography, memoirs, Christian, I don't know, whatever you want to kind of title them, but I just don't feel the need for them on my shelf. So these 2 are definitely probably saying goodbye. We'll get into 2 of my coffee table books real quick. Like I said, when I went to Half Price Books when I was little and got everything that interested me, even if I wasn't 100% going to read it, Encyclopedia of Space. I mean, all right, but I don't need it. And then this book came from a Goodwill. Back home, around home, I mean, I am in the tri-state with this city, but in the tri-state that I live in, this is the top 5 of worst cities. So I have a panoramic of Cincinnati, Ohio, mind you. I don't even know why I bought this. this. I don't know if it's just because I love photography or what, but now Las Vegas, Nevada will potentially get this book. You're welcome, whoever you might be. Hope you like Cincinnati and Skyline Chili. I love Skyline though. I can't talk crap about Skyline. Next we have Warhorse, and I read this just last year because I got this at a Scholastic book fair a long time ago. Never read it. I enjoyed it, but I just don't feel like I need it. Scholastic book fair. Middle school. Is there really more I need to say? I feel like we all went through a Titanic phase. I actually use this book every once in a while. I would pull this out, but I haven't done astrophotography in so long, and I don't think I really need this book anymore. So if somebody else needs it, here you go. A part of me wanted to collect this whole series. It is so little time. I feel like this series would be good. I feel like they're also standalones but interconnected, but there is like 28 or 38 books in this series. I don't have time for that when I'm trying to finish all these other series. Now I know in my 50+ book haul video, I bought this back in June, July, maybe before. At least when I did that video, it uploaded around June, July. I know I bought this and added that. I lost interest in trying to read it. This is the only book though from that haul that I'm actually getting rid of that I didn't need to read. There's that for that. I'm sorry. I was a child. I did read this once upon a time. I'm 23 years old now. These types of books are so young that I don't need them, even though I do have a child, but I don't know. Fall on Your Knees. I got this a long time ago at Goodwill. Never read it. I think I mainly got it because it was an Oprah book club book. Next we have 6 books. I'm just gonna claim them all together just because of what they are. They're all Nancy Drew books, but these are the newer editions, and I found the first edition of actually this book and then like the older edition. They're not first editions because those go for like $50, $100+ We do have the Nancy Drew sleuth book. Then we have both number 1, The Secret of the Old Clock, and also number 2, The Hidden Staircase. I got this in a book set, I think for like my 8th birthday or my 8th Christmas. It was a long time ago. And it also came with The Mystery at Lilac Inn, the 3rd book, which is The Bungalow Mystery, and also Secret of Shadow Ranch. I'm also throwing in number 6, The Secret at Redgate Farm. And that's just because I found the older edition. Compared to these, I love the older ones. Let me grab one real quick to show you. They're the exact same covers, but the spines look like this. They're just older. They look much better. And also it's before they put a lot of feminism in these ones. And I just want the original true stories and not the added on making it political type stories. So we're slowly swapping them all out. Heavenly Horse Stories. I got this a long time ago and I only remember reading it when I was 18, give or take. And I remember somebody sitting there and laughing at me for reading it because it was one Christian and Heavenly Horse Stories. I enjoyed it. I just never finished it because I was too embarrassed to finish it. And every time I look at this book, I think of that, even though I probably should not. Next, we have My Visit to Hell. I don't even know where this came from. I don't even know why I have it. And I never read it. It was in my entertainment center in the very back of the cabinet. So The Apothecary. I kept telling myself I was gonna read this, and if I didn't read it, I was going to wait until we had a kid and then I was gonna read it to him when he was older and he could understand more about chapter books. I don't think that's gonna happen. I hate to say that, I just don't feel like this is the book for that. Next we have a duology that I bought at a Scholastic book fair years and years ago, and I remember I read it and my sister read it. She loved it. Well, at the time we were very, very young. It is Island of the Blue Dolphins and also Sing Down the Moon. I thought I was always gonna reread these once upon a time, and then I just got too old, and now I feel like I'm way too old to try and read these. But they were good books from what I can remember, which I was like middle school maybe elementary school when I read these. It was a very long time ago. I'm getting rid of my Red Pyramid just because I'm looking to buy actual box sets if I'm going to buy any of the Percy Jackson books. And also, same applies with City of Ashes. I already have the Infernal Devices series, but my mom bought it for me in a box set, and I want to continue with the ones that make like the photo on the spine. I feel like everybody has them, but I want to buy this series off of Amazon. It's like $30, I think, for all, what is it, 6 books, 8 books. And I feel like I might as well just buy the whole box set instead of trying to collect one book and then switching them all out. And then last 2 items are like textbooks or college type material. They revolve around photography. So we have digital photography and then just photography. I have no clue how old these are, but I can tell you because they have Windows XP in them, I'm pretty sure they're like 10+ years at least old. I don't remember the last time XP was used. Pretty sure it was in the early 2000s. And I loved XP. This one says copyrighted 2006 for this edition, but the original one was 2002. So that would make sense. Hello everybody, it's been a couple days. I want to include this little clip before I get to my already filmed, since it's been a few days, outro. So I want to go over the books that I ended up getting from Las Vegas Books. I went ahead, took those books there. They only took, I feel like, about half. I only got $13 in store credit, and then I had to turn around and spend $15. So So I basically bought like $30 worth of books. 3 out of the 4 of them that I bought are Book Talk, BookTube type books. I'm so excited I found them. So let's go ahead and get into the first one, which I feel like I've never really seen. I thought I did once upon a time, but now I'm thinking that I just imagined that I seen it somewhere on Book Talk or BookTube, and I found it for free in the Airman's Attic on Base. 3 books of the Beautiful Creatures series, and so we just have Beautiful Creatures, Beautiful Darkness, and Beautiful Chaos, and I was only missing the 4th one, which is Beautiful Redemption. Since these books are the actual colored books and not the black with a little bit of color on the spine, I wanted to try and find these ones, but I was okay with mixing the covers just a little bit because I'm not going to be too picky in all honesty. I ended up seeing this book at Las Vegas Books for $4. So now I have the complete series, and I will probably be reading the series here soon. Next is another book I've seen on Book Talk only, I do believe, but I haven't heard too much about. I honestly don't know what it is about. And also I do believe it's part of a trilogy. I'm missing books 2 and 3, I think. I found Flock for $7. I love the way this book feels. It's not too thick of a paperback. It's around 350 pages. It's a little stiff and also kind of matte, soft feeling, kind of like Verity in a way, but I mean, you can break in a book very easily without cracking the spine, even though I like to crack my spine sometimes. I've seen this book, and since I have seen it a few places, I wanted to pick it up to see what it was about and also to see if it was a good series. Nonetheless, I am very excited to eventually read this series. Next book I feel like everybody's going to be so excited about, or probably has read or has read the whole series, and the 3rd book just recently came out. I found book 2 of the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. This is Things We Hide from the Light, and like I said, this is book 2, so I'm missing 1, and now the new one that came out is 3. But I can easily order these 2 books if I want to. If I don't find them in the thrift store, I can order them off Thrift Books or Half Price Books or any other thing, like even Amazon. And I'm so excited. When I seen this on the shelf, I not necessarily made noise, but my mouth instantly opened, and I was like, I'm so excited because some of these books that are more hyped up on Book Talk and BookTube, I love finding them when thrifting, just because most of the time they're like 20 bucks or so when you go to Barnes & Nobles. So if I can find them for only $8, like I did this one, which still is a little pricey, but Las Vegas Books is a lot more expensive than Savers and Desert Industries and even sometimes Goodwill. But honestly, their books, a lot of them are first editions. I've noticed that I've gotten from there, and also they're always such nice quality. They don't accept like damaged books at all, or at least I've never seen, unless they're really old. And then thankfully we found a standalone that I'm very excited about, and I've also seen this all over Book Talk, BookTube, and I know everybody, it seems like, rates this book 5 stars. It's kind of sad, but at the same time it's such a great book. It is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. Found this as well for $8, and when I seen this, it popped out on me on the shelf, like tunnel vision to the book, and I got super excited. I'm trying to finish the Renegades series right now. I'm in the middle of making a vlog for that. I'm actually in Arch Enemies, book 2 of the series, and after I finish, I'm half tempted to pick up this book as like a quick standalone, but I'm kind of scared if I want to do this book now or wait till the end of the year, because I'm also trying to read at least 10 more books before we end out 2023. Here are the 4 books that I'm doing for this tiny little thrift haul from Las Vegas Books after unhauling all of those books. So with that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the outro that I filmed multiple days ago. That is all the books that I'm unhauling. Hopefully Las Vegas Books, that's where I'm hoping to take these, because they give you a little bit better than Half Price Books or other big chain store type bookstores. They give you a little bit more in-store credit. And I also was hoping if they didn't take all of them, that I would eventually do a My Free Little Libraries video where I go around Las Vegas and find little free libraries and also switch out the rest of my books, because no matter what, these books I want gone before I start packing them up in the next month. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys all enjoyed the random books that I am getting rid of. A lot of kid books in this one, a lot of little kid books. As always, I hope to see y'all in another video. Make sure to subscribe, and God bless.